Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Filmmaker interview for the 23rd Annual Garden State Film Festival. From March 27th through March 30th, you can experience over 200 incredible films and film-centered events. These films are from 14 different countries, and they will be screened across 9 incredible venues all throughout Asbury Park and Cranford, New Jersey. It's officially countdown, so it's so exciting. It's so exciting. So I'm your host, Paige Ryans, and today I am joined with Daniel Fury.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Today, Daniel will be talking about his short film Birdfeeder. So, welcome, Daniel.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be part of the festival.
It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have you here and to talk about your short film. And yeah, so let's jump right in. Why don't we just start with your introduction and just kind of your role with the short film.
Sure. So my name is Daniel Fury. I am a filmmaker. I've been in and around New York and New Jersey film business for 20 plus years now. I worked my way up in the camera department on union features, commercials, documentaries, non-union music videos, pretty much the whole gamut. And my film that's going to be in the festival is called Birdfeeder. The short synopsis is, I'll read it off to you. It's not just a documentary about birds. It's a visual and emotional exploration of the human connection to the urban wild, the challenges faced in the time of hardship, and the profound impact of the natural world on the human soul. So that's the synopsis that goes out to film festivals like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, the film is really it's an uplifting film in the end. That helps. Audience members have said that you think the film is going to be about one thing and then it turns into something entirely different, and that people will come away from it thinking about how to enjoy the everyday more, how to take stock or recognize the beauty that's around us all the time that we often take for granted. And that was my intention, and I'm really glad that that's actually what people take away from it,
For sure. And I think that's definitely shown like within the film too. And as much as you want to preview the film, what was your inspiration? Because I know you kind of talk about like the inspiration in the film. So what was your inspiration for creating Birdfeeder?
Well, there was like 3 different inspirations, kind of. If that makes any sense, because like so many documentaries, you start out making one thing and then it kind of becomes something else.
Yeah.
Or life happens and then you find a new story and it totally changes what you were making. So in the beginning, I mean, the backdrop of it is it starts out with COVID. And for me personally, as a filmmaker, as a cinematographer, who has a reputation here, people were reaching out to me. I got emails from like, Brazil and Italy and stuff like that when COVID first hit, because it was such a New York phenomenon in the beginning, in the very beginning. It seemed it started like in China, then like Italy got hit really hard, and then New York was like the epicenter. And people were like, "Oh, we have to document this this terrible thing that's happening, but like historical thing that people will know or talk about this, forever, really." And it was so mind warping in the beginning to think like that, like I can't believe it, But so I went out and I started documenting what was happening in New York City when there was a curfew and that you weren't allowed to be on the street, and it was really kind of scary for me. I didn't know if I was going to get in trouble because I'm not officially a New York Times reporter or something like that. Those were the only people that were supposed to be out. But you have a hold of camera in your hand and you smile at the authorities as they go by.
It's like you won't even know, really.
No, I got a camera. It's okay.
You blend right in. Go continue.
So yeah, in the beginning, it was like about creating art about that moment. When I, having grown up here, in the suburbs of New York City and New York for the last 20 years, it's like, you know, that you're never going to see the streets like that again
Yeah.
in our lifetimes. At least, you know, I pray.
Yeah. And even I feel like just looking at the photos, and of course, you know, I've kind of seen similar photos and everything like that, but just like looking at those photos again, it puts you back into that moment. And like you said, it is eerie because like the streets were just so empty and everything like that. So I feel like you really just captured not just like the visual look of it, but you also captured that feeling of just like being transported back in time almost.
Sure.
During that time period. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
No, it's really really transporting. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but
sure. Yeah. I mean, there's an adage or like a thing that, like, I don't know, it's kind of powerful when you think about it, where people say that, you know, when you hold up a camera, you're really holding up a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other object that we have that, I guess, you know, your audio recording, but there's a thing that, you know, there's this little box that captures this moment in time that you can always go back to.
Mm-hmm.
And that it helps you remember those things. And especially with COVID, there's this psychological thing where people don't want to remember it somehow, or our brain like protects us from the trauma of that time. And I'm not trying to bring people back to the traumatic moment. That's the beginning of the initial part of the film, but then it totally changes into the story about the birds outside the window.
Absolutely.
And the bird's nest and life coming, like, you know, planting itself right outside.
Yeah.
And the hope that brings.
Absolutely.
So it's sort of like I need to take someone back there for a moment to take you out of that with a new momentum.
For sure. And I know you even just along those same lines, you kind of talked about like just this permission to like allow ourselves to just like slow down and really connect with nature and everything like that. So kind of talk about your inspiration to connecting nature to this, you know, project, this working, and how they came together.
Well, I think that's something that was pretty universal for so many people, that that time forced us to slow down in a way that you could either take negatively or positively. And I tried to focus on the positive aspect of it, because the birds were so much more prevalent at that moment when there was nobody out and about. You didn't hear in Brooklyn, you didn't hear the cars going by anymore. You heard the birds singing. You didn't hear people yelling on the street. You heard the song of like the mourning dove calling for the other dove. So it was like sort of foisted upon me, but then I wanted to turn it into something else. Like there was, when I go back to people talking about me going out and filming stuff for their COVID documentary, there was this idea that a lot of people erroneously had, that you could somehow tell the story of COVID. It's like trying to tell the story of the universe. Like it's way too big of a concept. It needs to be whittled down to like this experience of it. And it's sort of that microcosm macro thing where you can tell a smaller story and it illuminates the bigger story. So when I saw those, when I really focused on the birds outside my window, the window's right here.
They're making an appearance.
The way that nature just asserted itself was like it was too big for me not to sort of like, there's something here, sort of. And then it wasn't until a year later that these birds built a nest outside my window, and I was like, oh, now I can make this into a bigger story. Because if it's like just, you know, people got tired of hearing the stories of COVID. They heard and there were different aspects of telling it, but then when you take what's initially looks like it's going to be one thing and then you turn it into something else, you transmute it. I mean, that's what art is about, like taking some experience and turning it into something else, and then giving the audience a layered narrative, like, you know, something that's like there's an onion there where you're like peeling back parts of it and you find a deeper truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you literally hit the nail on the head, because I think it's just like just being able to approach it from like a different lens, to just kind of allow the audience to see it from a different perspective. And I feel like, like it's something that we are familiar with and everything like that. So it's nice to just kind of have a perspective of just kind of looking at it from like a nature point of view, and just allowing us to see the good, and bringing out the good of just like connecting with nature, and just the birds and the interaction with the birds. And because sometimes I feel like, when we go out through, even just like about our daily, like even in the morning, like you wake up and you hear the birds singing, and like sometimes it's just like it really allows you to be
Yeah.
present. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, maybe I should put music on, but I'm like, you know what, let me just be present with the birds. They're saying something right now. So
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then people talk about
So
connecting with nature as a way to be present, to quiet your mind, to be more healthy, like mentally, physically, everything, spiritually, and especially in times of hardship, or when you're dealing with something traumatic. And you can tell people that, but it's totally different when you give them experience, and when you show them this, and it's a story that unfolds over time, and the audience gets to experience that. And I hope it resonates much more than somebody telling you on an article about like, oh, it's good to connect with nature to deal with trauma. Like, you have to feel that to really understand it. So I hope the film helps people feel that and remind them.
absolutely. And I think you achieved that goal. So I think it'll definitely just like outreach to the audiences. And I feel like it was very poetic, even just like your commentary on it just throughout. I feel like it was just a great flow. So I really do think that it is meant to resonate with audiences, and I think it will.
Thank you.
What was your like kind of like favorite part of the process? Like whether it be, well, you tell me from your perspective. It could be like the editing process, just making it all come together. But like, what was it for you?
I mean, when I put the sound, so I worked with a very talented sound designer and a very talented composer, and it's when I was able to hear the entire film as a piece with that music, with that sound. Like when it all comes together, it's sort of the nicest moment. Like, I have a background in painting, and when you make when I used to make a lot more artwork paintings, there's a canvas, and you often put like a mat around the canvas so that you can mess up the mat, and then you pull that off, and you have this clean line of what your actual painting was, or it's the moment when you frame the painting, sort of. And it's like, okay,
Yes.
so now it's done, it's finished, it's got like its nice clean frame, this is presentable, and like all the effort was worth it.
It's how amazing is it to just kind of look back and just see like I did that. It is.
Shout out to Evan Wilson and
great,
Eli Brown, my sound and music composers.
Absolutely, shout out to them, seriously, because it really all it came together just like so beautifully, and I feel like it was just a really great job, well done, a great team effort.
Thanks.
So
a lot of people don't realize how much
absolutely.
sound design and music actually makes such a difference for a film. Yeah,
it does, especially for like such a impactful film like this one. Like I think it really, like, scoring is just so, it can take something so great already and even just like add just like that emotional.
Well, I'm sure that you felt
so.
like when you're talking about the poetry of it, sort of the poetic aspect of it,
Yes.
like that's most of that's them. Most of that's the music.
I listen, the visual, it's visual poetry too, because with your photography, your photographs and everything, it all came together. So it's different poetic aspects of it.
I guess it's because I can't do the sound as well as I can do the photography and video. But people people have asked me to like buy photos that from after watching the film, like
So. Yeah, I think you might be getting a few questions about that too, Chris. Well, how does it feel to be submitted? I mean, accepted to the Garden State
Oh, it
Film
feels
Festival?
great. I used to, I mean, I love New Jersey, like the shore. I went to so many concerts at the Stone Pony over the years. So I know like Asbury Park and neighborhood, and I have some friends who live down there. So, you know, it feels great.
Yeah, it's a great area, a great active
Yeah, yeah,
area.
and the festival looks like it's really well set up, like organized, and you have some great venues to screen at,
Yes.
and it'll be good to meet some other filmmakers.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'll be a great time, a great time. So will you be joining us at the festival?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome, awesome. So we look forward to seeing you in person, and you can check out Birdfeeder. It'll be screening on Sunday, March 30th at block number 14 and between 11 a.m. and 1:45 p.m. And again, we are just so excited to have you here. It's the 23rd annual Garden State Film Festival, officially countdown. 205 films throughout Asbury Park and Cranford, New Jersey. Be sure to grab your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. And once again, Daniel, congratulations on being accepted. Congratulations on such an awesome film. I think it's definitely going to be just a really, I think the audiences are really going to appreciate it. So
that's really nice of you to say. So, and I hope they do.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. I think so. Great. It's been great
work.
So absolutely great work. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I hope the audience like it because it is a New York region, New Jersey story, and in so many different ways. Like I've been lucky to take the film around the country, and it really resonates in a different way here. So
absolutely, it's the tri-state.
Exactly.
It's the tri-state area. So, but yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again for being here, and we'll see you at the festival.
See you there.
All right, take care.